Reggae's biggest stars vanished at the peak of their fame, but what they did next will shock you. These 12 artists walked away from fortune and glory for one unbelievable reason. The final revelation will leave you speechless. Stick around because their incredible transformations prove there's more to their story than music. You've never heard anything like this before. Tommy Cowan once stood at the epicenter of Jamaica's thunderous reggae revolution, a man whose fingerprints are smudged across the roots of global sound culture. From humble beginnings with the Maricos, later the Jamaicans, his ascent began with the triumphant release of Ba Ba Boom, a song that not only conquered the Jamaican charts, but won the coveted Jamaican Song Festival in 1967. That moment etched Cowan's name into reggae's granite. But his metamorphosis from Rastafarian record mogul to gospel minister would redefine his legacy in ways no one predicted. As sales and marketing manager at Dynamic Studios, his influence stretched far beyond the recording booth. He carved careers, molded the trajectory of artists like Jacob Miller, Inner Circle, and Leroy Smart, and operated from the spine of reggae's engine room. He managed Inner Circle, founded influential record labels, and worked closely with Bob Marley, emceeing historic events like the One Love Peace Concert and Zimbabwe's Independence Day celebration. Yet in 1996, the same man who once helmed reggae's Sunsplash laid his Rastafarian beliefs down at the altar of Christianity. Together with his wife Carleen Davis, Cowan built a new temple, Vessel Ministries, and the Judah Recording Studio, producing gospel music with the same precision and passion he had once poured into reggae. By 2007, Jamaica would knight him with the Order of Distinction. But Tommy Cowan wasn't alone. Judy Moat, with a velvet grit in her voice and the torch of feminine strength in her lyrics, lit up the global stage alongside Rita Marley and Marcia Griffiths as one-third of the I3s. That voice had already been forged in the fire of soul and R&B influences. But reggae was her true inheritance. Tracks like I Shall Sing and The Seismic Black Woman branded her as more than a singer. She became a force. Her 1985 Grammy nomination for Working Wonders was a summit few women in reggae had reached. But 20 years of Rastafarian faith left a vacuum in her soul. That void, gnawing and unrelenting, led her not to more awards or adulation, but to Jesus Christ. Her gospel transition was not a surrender, but a continuation of a lifelong mission to uplift the spirit through song. Judy Moat never changed lanes. She simply changed destinations. Moving on, next on our list is Carleen Davis. Carleen Davis lived many lives before the Pulpit ever called her name. At age 14 in England, she was already performing professionally. Later in Toronto, her cover of Leaving on a Jet Plane and Jimmy Cliff's The Harder They Come introduced her as reggae's next heir apparent. Upon return to Jamaica in 1980, she quickly proved it. Peace and Love earned her runner-up in the Festival Song Contest. Her duets with Gregory Isaacs like Feeling Irie and solo tracks like Winnie Mandela anchored her among reggae's elite. Then cancer came, an enemy with no rhythm, no beat, no melody. Her diagnosis in 1996 rewrote her script. From that pain emerged Vessel in 1998 and the gospel anthem, This Island Needs Jesus in 2000. Carleen Davis was no longer a reggae singer. She was now a warrior, an ordained minister, a gospel beacon with Billboard hits, and a doctorate in pastoral counseling. Moving on, next on our list is Chvel Franklin. Chvel Franklin's voice first rose from the shadows of hotel lounges and Kingston studios. At 14, she had a record out. By the early 90s, she was a staple, collaborating with Shabba Ranks, appearing in Dancehall Queen, and earning Grammy recognition on Extra Naked. Yet despite all the lights, the sold-out shows, the celebrity collaborations, something inside her remained hollow. It all changed in 1998 when she stood on a stage, felt the weight of the Spirit, and publicly declared she was leaving the secular world behind. Her 2001 gospel debut track, titled Joy, opened a floodgate of new releases and international ministry. Collaborating with African gospel stars, topping award ceremonies, and winning the 2018 Sterling Gospel Music Award for Set Time, Chvel Franklin didn't just transition, she transformed. Moving on, next on our list is Tony Rich. Tony Rich, born into the reverent chaos of a musical Pentecostal household, veered from the church's pulpit into the rebel energy of Kingston's reggae circuit. As an engineer, live mixer, and frontman for UK bands like the Cimarrons, Rich was a nomadic sound soldier, touring with Gregory Isaacs. Singing with Jetstar, his reggae gospel journey officially began in 1991 with Manasai Rini, a seamless blend of smooth reggae and devotional fervor. Decades of spiritual warfare followed. 32 surgeries, brushes with death, and a soul that refused to be silenced. In his most vulnerable moments, Tony Rich bled music, birthing tracks like Solid Rock during recovery. His voice now echoed, not in nightclubs, but in sanctuaries. Moving on, next on our list is Claudel Clark. Claudel Clark, the child star turned gospel queen, first captured Jamaica's heart at age 10 with 7 Days Make 1 Week. A collaborator with Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, and Alton Ellis, Clark was destined for musical immortality. But in 1968, the stage lights dimmed and her faith lit the way. The transition wasn't smooth. Prejudice against her afro, skepticism from religious elites. But Clark endured. She penned gospel standards like He Touched Me and Just As I Am, earning her a Lifetime Achievement Award and a place in the Reggae and World Music Hall of Fame. Even in Canada, where she relocated in 1983, her voice stirred the spirit. Her later works, such as Reggae Songs of Praise and The Journey, featuring Leroy Smith and William Stewart, reaffirmed her title as the Queen of Reggae Gospel. Moving on, next on our list is Hopton Lewis. Hopton Lewis, the rocksteady architect behind the immortal Take It Easy and the boundary-pushing Cool Collie, once set Jamaican music ablaze. His roots ran deep into reggae's DNA, from his collaborations with Lynn Tate to his role at Treasure Isle with Duke Reed. But by the late 80s, Lewis retreated from the secular spotlight. His spiritual compass pulled him toward the sacred. Albums like This Is Gospel and Reaching Out to Jesus carried his weathered, soulful vocals into church pews. He later ran a gospel radio show in Brooklyn and became a messenger of peace in both music and word. Even in death, his spirit dances in the echoes of Boom Shakalaka. Moving on, next on our list is Owen Gray. Owen Gray, the chameleon of Jamaican music, was never confined to a single sound. From R&B to ska, from rocksteady to reggae, his fingerprints are everywhere. But by the 1980s, Gray no longer searched for rhythms. He searched for righteousness. After stints in New Orleans and Miami, he pivoted to gospel, pulling spiritual depth from his earliest church roots. His songs became not just tunes, but testimonies. This was no nostalgia trip. It was a rebirth. Moving on, next on our list is Junior Tucker. Junior Tucker, hailed as Jamaica's Michael Jackson, exploded onto the scene at age 7 with Happy. By the time he was 12, he had signed to Island Records. By 18, he had helped birth New Edition's Mr. Telephone Man. From stage to studio, Junior Tucker was a prodigy destined for secular superstardom. But tragedy, fatherhood, and soul-searching turned him toward God. He was baptized after publicly declaring his faith at a Kingston gospel concert, and his albums like Brand New, Sold Out, and Victory, Worship from the Islands, too, now stood as a spiritual chronicle. Today, Junior Tucker doesn't just perform. He preaches, teaches, and plants churches. Moving on, next on our list is Papa San. Papa San, the marathon man of the late 80s and early 90s, once held multiple top 10 Jamaican hits simultaneously. His style was electric, his lyrics sharp, and his stagecraft unmatched. But after a series of devastating family tragedies, the life-taking of his brother Dirtsman, the death of his sister and cousin, his world unraveled. In 1997, he found Christ and began using his lyrical genius for gospel warfare. One Blood topped the Billboard Reggae chart in 2014. His albums like Life Lessons and collaborations with Chvel Franklin, Mary Mary, and Lecrae rebranded him as a cross-genre apostle. He and his wife Debbie now lead Our Father's Kingdom International Ministries and host annual charity concerts for orphanages in Jamaica. Moving on, next on our list is Lieutenant Stitchie. Lieutenant Stitchie, known for the 14 #1 hits he notched in a single year, was dancehall royalty. Albums like Great Ambition and The Governor made him a household name. But in 1997, a near-fatal car crash before Reggae Sumfest changed his life. A young boy handed him a Bible backstage, and Stitchie never looked back. His first gospel album, To God Be the Glory, ignited a new flame. With honors including an honorary doctorate, a Gospel Hall of Fame induction, and the Jamaican National Honors and Awards, Stitchie's impact stretched from dance halls' dens to gospel sanctuaries. Moving on, next on our list is St. Matthew. St. Matthew, the gospel defender, lived recklessly in the fast lane with the secular group Marauders. The turning point came on September 11, 2001, when the world changed, and so did he. Watching tragedy unfold on TV, he realized how empty his life had become. That was the day he chose Christ. Dropping his old persona, he embraced his role as a spiritual warrior. Albums, mixtapes, and praise-filled performances followed. In 2006, his father's death only cemented his purpose. St. Matthew became not just a gospel artist, but a movement. These 12 artists didn't retire. They didn't fade. They didn't lose relevance. They evolved. From clubs to congregations, from radio play to revelation, their voices now echo through eternity, preaching not chart positions but redemption. Their conversions weren't betrayals of reggae. They were extensions of it. Because in the hands of Tommy Cowan, Judy Moat, Carlene Davis, and those who followed, reggae was never just music. It was ministry. Which of these powerful transformations surprised you the most? Do you think reggae and gospel can truly coexist, or are they worlds apart? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell us which artist's journey moved you the deepest. We want to hear your take. And if stories like this hit your soul, don't forget to subscribe for more.